Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Lunch with Lindsay. And this time we are eating some lunch with the holiday theme, right? So we're in the thick of the holidays. I love this time of year. I love the family aspect of it all. I love the magic of Christmas and the holidays. I also am sure that you're in the same boat where it gets stressful. There are so many boxes that you're trying to check off, so many things to do, and you just wish that you could be present. But the truth is, I really love learning about traditions and what people did growing up, what they pull from that to take with their own family moving forward. And I decided that I wanted to sit down with Melvin again, have another booth breakdown about some of what he really loved about the holidays growing up that I really hadn't heard before. Also about, his family. So we have a special guest in this episode, teaser. She was just featured in this magazine, Southern Living. But we also talked a little bit about Melvin's obsession with the food segments on the Today Show because he has a very bad rap for actually eating a lot during those segments. And that's actually become, I think, one of his favorite things. So we talk about that, but we begin talking about an item of food on the Thanksgiving table that I love, but that we definitely disagree about. Sit back and enjoy.
I'm just grateful to be able to sit in this booth and talk about someone in Southern Living magazine.
Sweetie, that's so cheeseball.
It's awesome.
Well.
Okay, so here's what. So I brought for your lunch. You can look at it. It is a great picture.
Oh,
this is so sweet.
They touched it up a lot, but thank you.
No, it looks beautiful. I want to talk more about this. But I know you call it dressing. I call it stuffing in terms of like holiday meals.
Yeah, but I mean, you obviously know the difference between the two.
What?
Oh, this is awkward. You know the difference between dressing and stuffing.
I don't. We only called it stuffing.
Well, stuffing has been inside the bird that's been stuffed with. That's why it's called stuffing. If it's created outside the innards of the bird, it is called dressing. That is dressing.
Actually, it's stuffing.
It is not stuffing.
Yes, it.
That hasn't been in a bird.
Yes, I think it has. No.
First of all get the packaging
I have
that
the
you
packaging.
bought it from Whole Foods.
Pete, I might need you to go get the packaging.
No, Pete doesn't need to go anywhere because I'm telling you, as somebody who has consumed dressing for more than 4 decades,
okay,
I can tell you it's got cranberries in it.
So you can add the cranberries
later. I don't want that.
Take a little bit. Just try a little bit.
No, I don't want it.
So wait a minute.
And then that is like sweet potatoes with marshmallows on top. Like nobody like.
Okay, so we're gonna get the container to confirm that the reason I got this is because this is the one item that they would always have at my great grandma's house.
Oh, now I feel bad about judging.
Yeah, when she had Thanksgiving, but she would have the little small marshmallows.
Yeah.
On top of.
Those are big marshmallows.
They're big, but I kind of, it's nice because you can get like the brown evenly. But I never really fully enjoyed the way it tasted. Mm-hmm. But it was really cool that they're marshmallows.
Yeah, no, I like the marshmallows. I mean, sometimes we'd have raisins on them as well.
You don't want to eat.
No.
You don't just. Okay, let's talk funniest Thanksgiving stories. Do you remember the year that we had just had Sibby, our second daughter, who was born in November?
Our second daughter?
Our second child. And
I'm the one drinking beer.
We ordered the turkey from Whole Foods. Your mom was coming up, and we went to pick up the turkey on Thanksgiving Day from Whole Foods. I do remember that. And I accidentally ordered the turkey not cooked.
Well, did you accidentally order it not cooked, or did you just not pay attention?
So So your mom saved it.
I remember it well because we didn't know what we didn't know, and I went to pick up the turkey, and I just assumed, I was like, oh, of course, my wife would order a cooked turkey for Thanksgiving, and lo and behold, 7 years ago, was it? Yeah, 7 years ago, we had an uncooked turkey.
Took a few hours. So
yeah, we had Thanksgiving on Friday.
One of the things that's not true. One of the things that I think about when I think about the food is at the end of Thanksgiving, the meal, like when I was growing up, I used to love it so much because we'd just like sit around or be doing whatever. But there was like such a feeling of happiness and hope because like Christmas for us was right around the corner,
Yeah.
you know? And it was like it's just such a feeling of like peace.
Euphoria.
And, right? And like comfort and safety. So I was thinking about that and wondering how you felt.
Listen, I do think that Thanksgiving for me has always been my favorite holiday because you have the fellowship and the food and the fun of the holiday without the pressure of gift giving. You know, you sit around, you eat the family's favorite dishes, and you drink wine, and you watch football, and it's a celebration of family. And there's also not the, you know, with Christmas you've got like, oh, we gotta go to this holiday party. There's this holiday, the kids get, and you've got like 5 holiday parties up until Thanksgiving or Christmas. Thanksgiving, you don't have that. There's no like Thanksgiving party. You know, it's the
Unless
day
you do a Friendsgiving, which is awesome.
Yeah, no, Friendsgiving is good. You're right. I do like Friendsgiving, but no, Thanksgiving's. I think for that reason alone is my favorite holiday. Plus, you get all of your favorite like dishes on that one day. So, what? Am I not like doing well for the podcast?
When you have a cooking segment at work, do you go explore what the food is before they bring it out?
I do. In fact, I've developed a bit of a reputation for going into our kitchen where we actually prepare the food. We've got an amazing food styling team led by Katie Stilo, who's been there for a number of years now, and they work with the chefs to bring their recipes to life. And I just don't think that it's in anyone's best interest for a dish to leave the kitchen and head to Studio 1A without it being sampled. So, you know, a couple of years ago, I fell on the sword, and I raised my hand, and I volunteered to be the guy that samples, you know, because God forbid something...
You actually said, I'm going to be the sampler. And
Well, it was more of an unofficial anointing, if you will. I had just started to do it so often that finally they were like, Craig, you want to taste it? I was like, oh, yeah, I'll be tired. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, it's good to go. So by the time that we actually eat a meal or dish on the show, I've already sampled it. I can tell you. And listen, the reality is 90% of the time, it's amazing. It's the other 10% where I have to make a conscious decision internally and externally to lie to America.
You don't lie to America.
If you're asking me as my wife, if you're asking me if every dish that I've ever had on the show is a 10, I can't sit here during the season of giving and thanks and tell you that that's the case.
So have you said, honestly, this is not
No.
my bag?
No. Yes. In the kitchen I will. As my mother taught me, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. So sometimes, like during a cooking segment, if you watch and listen closely, and I'm not raving about the quality of a dish, it's like meh. But usually it's like just a palate thing. Like I'm not a big fan of certain things, you know. So I just don't. I have to. Sometimes I have to fake it, and sometimes if I know a dish is going to be mediocre, I'll tap out. I disappear for the segment.
You know whose food I always love is Joy Bauer. Joy Bauer, she turned kale chips into candy for our kids.
She does a good kale chip. She does a good kale chip.
Her stuff is so good.
She does a good kale chip. Listen, I mean, we could sit here and play this game all day. There's some chefs who come on, some cooks who come on. Everything they touch is gold. There's some other ones who come on, and it's like, hey, you struck out today. You missed it. You swung, and you missed. And I've had to pull a few of them aside, you know. And I've said to Martha Stewart before. I've said
You have not.
I've said Martha.
You are shut your mouth.
I've said Martha. I know 100 cookbooks, legend, blah blah blah. What you made today, not your best. I have.
About what? What was it?
Oh, no, I haven't said that to Martha.
What I think people don't talk about enough is how different everyone's family is different, and I think that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, in the way people celebrate Thanksgiving is really different. We started frying turkeys. I think it was my brother or my dad or my uncles maybe. They would all do it together outside at my grandma's house, and then but I think it was my brother who might have been the impetus for it, and I love it. But it's all in like the injection seasoning. He makes a great fried turkey.
The injection's paramount. Yes, I would maintain the injection plus the rub, plus the kind of oil, plus the time. Like those are the 4 key ingredients to a good fried turkey. But young Melvin, my brother Ryan, I think he's really mastered the fried turkey. But that wasn't something that was done up until 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
kind of new.
Oh yeah, but now I can't even eat a roasted turkey. Like I have to have the fried turkey on Thanksgiving. Seriously.
We fried it.
Yeah,
We've done
no,
that.
yeah, no.
What's the one thing that you remember having to sacrifice, like because of your job? Are there times like that family had to come to you, or do you remember?
Yeah, no, I don't think. I'm trying to think in terms of Thanksgiving. I think when we worked in D.C., I'm pretty sure I worked all but one Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure of that. And since I didn't have any family in the area, it's not like I could have like a proper Thanksgiving meal. I feel like for Christmas, I worked a lot of Christmas Eves and Christmas Days. And
I remember one time my whole family schlepped down, and I mean my grandparents too, to celebrate Christmas in my apartment.
In D.C.?
In Miami.
Oh, God.
And
There was only one bedroom.
You know what, though? No, sorry. That was in Jacksonville. That was even earlier. That was one bedroom. They all came down, and they stayed at a hotel, but they came and they celebrated with me. And it was
nice.
Right? I know. Well, because my family is smaller. Your family is all there.
Well, I think your parents also, your family just had more money, too, because of travel.
I don't know.
I can't tell.
Well, I just don't think that's true.
Well, I think if I had suggested,
You need to go back and nap for like another hour.
I think if I had just suggested to my folks, if my family was like, "Hey, can you drive up to DC for holiday?" They would be like, and stay in a hotel. They'd be like, "No, we can't." But no, I'm trying to think about it because you're right. I never had. But I think part of it also was just the nature of the business back then. I don't know. I didn't have even Christmas. I worked a number of Christmas Eves, and I didn't think anything of it because, I think when you have kids, like when we with Del and Sim, and now it's like magical. But before that, it's like, it's Christmas. It's important. We're celebrating the birth of Christ, but it wasn't like, the end all be all now. Does that make sense?
It does, but I think I'm really different. Like for me, it was like DEFCON 4, and they like rallied around me, my immediate family, because they knew because
You've always been a fan of Christmas.
But
you're a big fan of Christmas. Yeah. I want you to show on your podcast the gift that I presented to the family this year for Christmas, for the house. Am I Santa?
I will.
I want you to show that because it's,
But do you really? But there's so much. Like this is a separate conversation. There's so much that's wrapped up in the way that we celebrated as kids. And I'm not saying right or wrong. That shapes how you view it too, and also proximity to family. Like you grew up. Your family's, for the most part, is all in the same area, right?
Still. Was then, still now. Even more so now, because the family's larger.
And that's really cool.
No, it is cool. It presents amazing opportunities during the holidays. However, there's a flip side to it. I mean, like when your family's not around, like you can get in, you can get out. And I think that, there might be some in my family who would suggest that, always having family around also presents occasionally a unique challenge. It's like, uncle or aunt or cousin such and such, I just saw him 3 days ago. Now I'm seeing him again. I'm going to see him again next week. I'm going to see him again.
Michelle Obama was talking on her podcast about how she and the former president are so different, and he is a big hugger and she is not so much. And the reason that they're so different, she discovered, is because she had the scenario that you had growing up with all of her family around her. So she was making the point that you'd say bye to a cousin, but you didn't really say bye. You're like, I'll see you in
3 days.
Right, or 24 hours.
I'll see you next week.
Where Barack Obama, it's like his was vast, right?
I could see that.
I thought that was really interesting because for us...
I could see that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. A famous Al Rokerism comes to mind. Al's famous for saying, I can't miss you if you don't leave. And growing up, we didn't really miss anybody because they never left. Like we went to church together. We lived within a 20-minute radius for the most part. And even now, my brother lives 20 minutes from my parents, 10 minutes from our sister-in-law. Like it's not we're kind of tight knit. Versus your family, you've got family in Virginia, family in Western PA. Like there's always we're here in Connecticut. Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. I could see that. And now that I'm saying it out loud, I guess that is why we maybe view the holidays a little different. Like,
yeah, maybe. It's interesting. It is.
It feels like there's something you want to say.
There's not. No, but I think that we should. I have a friend who wants to join. Look, Betty Jo.
Oh, hi.
Hello, Craig.
It is so good. And look
That's
at
the first time. I can't find one here.
your recipe for mac and cheese is right there.
I got like 20 copies.
Seriously. Now everyone has the recipe. This is
Let
so
me see
cool.
the front. Let me see the front. So I know what I'm looking for. Okay.
There you go. So we were just talking about holidays.
You can show her a picture.
Oh, yes I did, but you can show her. What was Melvin like on holidays, like around the holidays when he was a kid?
He was excited. He used to always, he was busy. He was excited. He loved, I think he got it from his mama. He loved the holidays.
I still do.
He loved family. I think he really loved for everybody to be together.
Still do. Mm-hmm. I still do. That's my favorite part of the holidays. Oh, Mom, look, you're in the table of contents. It says Family Traditions. Betty Jo Melvin's Macaroni and Cheese. You're on page 13, lucky number 13. You're early in the magazine. Look at you.
I know, you're like right in the beginning.
Oh, there we are.
Oh, I like it. That's a whole page.
Oh,
Isn't that pretty?
Whole page.
Well, this is a nice page.
I know. Did you pick your wardrobe out yourself?
She brought like 8 options.
Hush, Craig, I bought a couple, but they gave me a color palette.
Love it.
But you didn't actually make that mac and cheese, did you? They made that one.
They made it. They said they were gonna do it.
It looks pretty. It looks really pretty. Do you remember that Thanksgiving that I ordered the turkey and it was not a cooked turkey?
They remember because they still laugh about it every holiday behind your back.
No, we don't. No, we don't. I forgot about it. Actually, Lindsay, you won't remember, but I think the first time I met you was a Thanksgiving.
In D.C.?
No, in Columbia.
Oh, that's right.
So the first time I met Betty Jo, I think, was in your apartment in D.C., right?
Right, and you came here for Thanksgiving.
Yep, and you were making some sort of soup or something. Or...
I was?
No, Betty Jo was.
I was cooking.
And then I came for Thanksgiving to your house.
Yes. Yes, that's yes.
That would have been 2002. 2010. I think it was,
God.
no,
No, 9,
2009.
Yep,
Yeah, that would have
2009.
been 2009 or 2008, somewhere around there.
No, it wasn't 2008 because I just started working in D.C. in August.
Oh, so it was 2009.
Yeah, I moved quickly.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
I remember that. Because
Gosh.
that was so fun. But I remember on the plane you were giving me the lowdown on everybody in your family.
What kind of?
Do you remember this?
No,
like you
I
were
don't.
writing it on a napkin. Like somewhere there was a napkin where like who your aunts and uncles and the connection.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I do make it.
There were so many, like compared to my family, which is smaller. There were so many, so it was like.
And I think I wrote down what I thought about certain aunts and uncles and cousins too.
That's
I wrote
not
down
true. That's
little,
not true.
little adjectives about them.
I hope not.
He did not.
But I have some now.
Somewhat napkins.
Adjectives.
Oh,
I would love to get those
no,
adjectives
no,
from you.
no.
And then Melvin went with me to my my grandparents' house for Christmas, and then I think he almost fell on the floor when they brought the birthday cake out and sang "Happy Birthday" to Jesus. Because that is one of my favorite traditions ever.
I thought it was a joke.
No.
Did you really?
Well, because they said we sing "Happy Birthday" to Jesus. I was like, oh, that's cute. Yeah, I'll sing. And then they brought out like a little baby Jesus, and they were saying "Happy Birthday." I was like, oh my gosh,
It was
my
awesome.
my girlfriend's part of a cult.
What?
I mean, it's weird. Like nobody,
Isn't that weird?
sweetie, like literally no one else we know does that.
I think there are people that do that.
I
They
think
actually
there
sell
are
cakes
people
like that, Greg.
who.
They sell cakes like that now.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Jesus.
No, those are king
Because
cakes. They
Jesus-
sell them for Mardi Gras
That's
with
not
the
true.
baby inside.
No, the baby inside. That's not Happy Birthday, Jesus
I'm
written
gonna
on
show.
top.
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you one. I might see. Can I find one?
For-
Oh, you won't be here for Christmas, but I'll get one.
No, I don't think you have to do that. I think it's a nice tradition, but the first time, the first time you see Jesus come out for the birthday song, it's a little jarring if you're not familiar with the.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that would be.
Yeah, like
You
it
didn't
was,
know anything about that.
especially since it's like a normal little baby. It wasn't like a baby that looked like Jesus. Like
Well,
it was-
so I loved reading this because I was like, oh, I don't really. I'm sure there are traditions that you guys did around the holidays that I just don't know about. What's one of your favorites, Betty Jo? Like for you and your kids or your family?
What was one of my favorites?
Yeah, that you did during that time.
Well, the favorite was Christmas morning. They would each have a place where Santa Claus bought their Christmas presents in the living room. Craig, you remember that?
I do. I remember where my spot was. I remember.
Yeah, and they didn't get up until they were told to get up. They were asked, "Can we get up? Can we get up?" That was one of my favorites. It's just the look on their face and
Yep.
how happy they were.
The magic.
Right.
The magic.
You getting teary?
No, I'm
It
not.
didn't take much.
Shut up.
No, I remember that. That was nice. That was
Yeah.
always nice. There were always wrapped gifts under the tree, like weeks before Christmas.
That's
and,
right.
And she would put who the gifts were for, like on the tag on the gift. So you could look under the tree and you go, oh, that's for Aunt Wanda, or that's for Grandma,
Yes.
or that's for
Still do
Aunt
that.
Ella, or
Oh,
and then you
wow.
could look and you could be like, oh, it's sad. Aunt Wanda's getting a pair of socks. Oh, that's sad. Grandma's getting perfume again. Or, like you could. And sometimes you were right, sometimes you were wrong, but usually you could guess based on the form of the gift.
Wait a minute. What happened to my thing?
Where are you, by the way?
I don't know where I am now because it looks like my stuff went away. Wait a minute.
But are you in the car?
I am.
She's in the
I am
Hallmark
in the
parking
car.
lot. The car, the cards.
I'm in the parking lot of Hallmark on St. Andrews Road.
Why, Ma? Why are you in the parking lot of Hallmark?
Huh?
Why are you in the parking lot of Hallmark?
Because I'm talking to y'all.
She pulled over.
Oh, you weren't
Isn't that
shopping
nice?
there.
No.
No, I wasn't shopping. I went to the meat market to get some butter peas, and they didn't have
Oh,
any.
I like butter beans.
I know, but I can't seem to find any. Um, and that's why I ended up over here. Because I was waiting. I says, well, I thought what Lindsay said was 2:45.
Well, my wife is.
Well, your son was sleeping. He was snoring
That's
on
not.
the couch. That is accurate.
That's not why she's late, Mom.
And
I
we're,
believe
we're on a tight schedule because he's got to go get his nails done, and that's true. But I respect that.
Well, you don't want me to show up with like raggedy nails.
It won't matter. It won't matter. We won't know the difference.
I don't know. Plus, when they're nice, I don't bite them.
Oh, okay. That's good then.
And when they're not nice, that's when they're like, oh,
Yes. Okay.
Are y'all gonna sit and visit after I leave? Or this is a nice little podcast surprise.
Is there anything, Betty Jo, that you're thinking about going into the next few weeks of the holiday rundown? What are your thoughts?
Getting my Christmas trees right. And I am going to put them up this year, 2 of them, Craig. And I'm going to straighten it up
You need to help her.
because life is short.
Yes.
So I want to be able to sit there and look at my Christmas trees.
The ones that are in the magazine that you talked about?
Well, one of them is an angel tree. Craig's telling the truth. I still have the angel tree, and the other tree is a little bit different, except it does have some Craig. Some of the things that are on there are things that Craig they sold in elementary school. They had these little ceramic kind of animals and stuff that they used to sell and things they used to make. I put that on that Christmas tree still.
I love it.
I mean, now that was 35 years ago. Like a lot of moms would have gifted some of that stuff to their children so they could put it on their own trees.
Well, when I'm dead, that's the one thing you can have.
So it's good to know that I have to wait until you're dead for my children to enjoy my craft work from elementary school.
Do you feel like, Betty Jo, do you feel like your family, like that you guys tell each other like why they matter to each other? I've been thinking about that. Like, do you feel like...
I mean, it depends on the family member.
Because like I've been thinking about that because there's this woman that was talking about, who wrote a book, and she was talking about how the most important thing like in life with family and friends is just showing, and kids, is telling them that they matter or letting them know that they matter, And I thought, what if like between now and Christmas, like once a day, you just said, hey, so-and-so, I love you because of this.
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the family member.
Yeah, but all family members matter, but for different reasons.
Do they?
Yes.
Yes, they do. They do.
They do.
Yes.
They do.
Even the least person, they matter. Person. Even the person that might get on your nerves. But Frank, are you laughing at me?
I don't know. No, not at you, but I just love your honesty.
Who's the least person? Who's the least?
Well, not the least person, but somebody who you know that they may drive you crazy.
Yes.
But they still matter to you.
I think the holidays should remind us of what we have.
Yes.
And you're right, Greg. You're right. You're right.
But it's right. But I think the reason I think about people like that Betty Jo's talking about are because it's harder for them on the holidays. It's harder for their families too, right? Like you think about all of that with loss and people.
That's
so
true. Holidays, that's a good point, because I think for a lot of folks, if you've lost someone, especially if it's fairly new, then the holidays are a stark reminder of the loss. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a child or a spouse or a sibling or a parent. Yeah, holidays are hard I think the holidays are probably harder for a lot of folks than we realize for that reason. And loneliness. If you're lonely, and a lot of people suffer quietly with loneliness, I think the holidays make that even more unbearable for a lot of people.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, Mom, this has been great. This is a nice surprise.
We're about to settle a debate because I got something at the store that's stuffing, and Melvin said it's dressing, but I'm pretty sure the top of it
Ma,
says.
look at this. She got cranberries and like cornbread, and I don't even know what some of it is, but I think it came from Whole Foods or
No, eau de lis.
Oh, eau de lis. No dressing worth its weight comes from a store that's pronounced with a French name.
Oh, I like that store though.
So do I. We love it. They have the best ginger tea.
Nobody's eating dressing or stuffing from like that's not.
You're hurting a lot of feelings.
I'm just saying I'm not trying to hurt feelings. I'm just being honest. Like
What do you have it? What's in it?
Cranberries. Cranberries.
Sausage. There's sausage.
Cranberries.
Sausage.
You know what my mama puts in her dressing?
What do you put in your dressing, Betty Jo?
Gizzards. Gizzards.
Yeah, I do gizzards.
I know that because you know what? Your mom made me a separate one time.
Right now.
She's so nice.
I'm gonna make you a separate one this time because I know you don't eat gizzards.
But you've never tried gizzards.
No,
Yes,
but I'm
did.
good. But I don't need you. You don't have to make a separate one. That's so sweet. That is so kind. Look at me. What?
You know what?
Never.
I've never had them.
Yeah.
The odds of me tasting a gizzard and being like, oh my God, I should have eaten this
You know
before.
what, Lindsay? If you could have eaten it and you wouldn't have known. Last year I made oyster. Oh, you weren't here last year.
No.
I did oyster dressing too.
What about chitlins, Ma? What about chitlins and rice and some hot
I do
sauce?
I still have I have chitlins and rice.
Those the pig's feet? Is that the pig's? Is that the pig's feet?
It's the intestine.
But you like it? You like it?
I mean, listen, I grew up on it.
Yes, right. You grew up on it. That's like,
Lindsay,
yeah.
I went in the meat store just now, and they told me 5 pounds cost $49.
For chitlins?
Yeah, you know what I told them? I said, I think y'all have to keep them. I said, because we used to buy them from the store, we didn't pay about $6 or $7. We bought them because they were cheap, not because. I said, that's a delicacy.
Now it's like gourmet chitlins.
Yeah. And the problem is the kids now, like when we grew up, we didn't have a choice. Like that was just part of that was
what was there.
Right. The kids now, like if Jax and Jaden and if you like, oh, hey, here's some chitlins, they would be like, what?
You know
This
what?
is what?
But I bet you I know who would try them if she didn't know what they were.
Sybil Melvin.
She probably would try.
She would. You know what's funny is like one of our favorite desserts for Thanksgiving at my great grandma's growing up was she would just fill these bowls with fruit cocktail and just put Cool Whip on the top, and we felt like it was so fancy and gourmet.
That was nice.
So good.
That was nice.
Yeah,
Not chitlins though.
we did not have chitlins.
Hot sauce? Would they put hot sauce on the fruit?
A little more traditional.
I do have chitlins and hog maws.
I think that's a waste of money.
Did you? Woo!
Because I don't think you're gonna get a lot of people that eat them.
Well, Wanda wanted them. I don't know whether she can have them now. But she wanted them.
Oh, the irony. All right, well, we go. We out.
Bye. God bless
Betty
you.
Jo, we love you. Thank you so
Love
much.
you.
Congratulations on your big spread.
Thank you.
Okay, we love you. All right, guys, so that was a little view into our holiday intersection of our family. I appreciate Betty Jo joining and Melvin, of course, for sharing the down and dirty details on the Today Show meal situation. Thanks so much for joining me, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you want to hear more of, and as always, I'll see you next time on Lunch with Lindsay.